Budget 2022 will continue the balanced approach to targeting support where it's needed and tackling long-standing social and infrastructure deficits alongside careful fiscal management to pay down debt. The government is investing more than $1 billion in a cost of living package targeted at low and middle income households. The package includes an extension to the reduction of fuel excise duty introduced in March by 2 months until mid-August, an extension of the road user charger cuts introduced in April until mid-September, and an extension of half-price public transport fares introduced on 1 April until the end of August. We are also announcing today that from September, we will introduce Community Connect to extend half-price public transport to the more than 1 million community service card holders on a permanent basis. We will also provide a short-term targeted support for low and middle income New Zealanders through a $350 cost of living payment across 3 monthly instalments from 1 August. This works out to about $27 a week for 2.1 million New Zealanders. The payment will be available to people aged 18 and over who earn below $70,000 per annum based on last year's tax data and who are not eligible for the winter energy payment. And we'll be tackling the root causes of grocery bills by tonight introducing urgent legislation to stop supermarkets from blocking competitors from accessing land to open new stores. We're moving to increase access to dental treatment by providing funding to increase from $300 to $1,000 per year the money low income earners can use to undertake dental work. It should be noted that changes to criteria mean that this does not have to be for emergencies only and can include multiple visits. We're also addressing one of the long-standing inequities in our welfare system, so-called child support pass-on. This means that, and it was called for by the Welfare Expert Advisory Group as well, what this means is that sole parent beneficiaries will get the full benefit of child support payments regardless of their circumstances. This was estimated to lift between 6,000 and 14,000 children out of poverty using the before housing cost measure. Improving outcomes in housing is also essential, and there is a $1.8 billion package to do this. This also includes lifting caps on first home grants and loans to improve opportunities for first home buyers. We're also making a significant investment in sustaining and transforming our disability system. This includes increasing funding for providers to meet demand, establishing a new ministry for disabled people, and investing in the regional rollout of the Enabling Good Lives program. Budget 2022 provides the largest investment ever in our health system, with $11.1 billion in new funding to put that system on a sustainable financial footing. As Health New Zealand takes over the books from the 20 DHBs on 1 July, a funding boost has been provided so the national system can start with a clean slate. We are introducing a multi-year funding model. Firstly, a 2-year transitional package agreed through Budget 2022 begins with an investment of $1.8 billion per annum, including funding to deal with those deficits, and then this will be followed by $1.3 billion per annum from 2023. That means funding for wages, more staff, and better support for people to do their jobs and focus on patients rather than on the financial system. The largest ever 2-year funding boost for PHARMAC. This will mean that PHARMAC has received a 40% increase in funding since we came into office. $202 million for mental health and addiction services, as Minister Little announced earlier this week. Overall, this year again, we have a package to support Māori and Pacific aspiration that is strong and fits in with our wellbeing objectives. In addition to the funding for the Māori Health Authority and associated hauora services, we are seeing a significant increase as well in whānau ora funding of $166 million, part of a more than $500 million package on Māori health and wellbeing. We're continuing to foster employment opportunities for Māori and support Māori economic development across the board. Alongside these investments, we know that we need to commit to protecting and uplifting Māori culture, knowledge and history, and that is done through the budget, through the development of the Māori media sector and funding to support Mātauranga Māori and other taonga. We are continuing to address our infrastructure deficit with $61.9 billion of investment over the next 5 years. We will be taking the Te Waihanga, the Infrastructure Commission's strategy, and implementing that over the coming years. We must close our infrastructure deficit if New Zealand is to improve its productivity. In this budget, there is continuing funding for health and education infrastructure and also for the future of rail with a further $350 million there. New Zealand has a strong base to build upon. We're supporting New Zealanders through the cost of living pressures, but we are also making the investments in the long-term issues that are needed. These are the investments that will secure our future. We can't meet all of our commitments in one budget, but we will continue to build our resilience in a volatile world and secure the future for all New Zealanders.